In 1910, after Hazrat completed his Sufi training, his master sent him off with a new challenge: to bring his music and his message to the West. In America, Hazrat traveled the country performing his music.
But always, my grandfather's deeper intention was to spread a spiritual message, and gradually he attracted those who could hear that message behind his music or within his music, and began to gather around him.
It was in New York that Hazrat met and fell in love with a young American woman, Ora Ray Baker, a ward of her older brother, Perry Baker, who ran a yoga school.
He was young, musician, deeply spiritual, idealistic. They were both young. They came from different worlds. Sometimes opposites attract powerfully, and it was in that context that they met and fell in love.
After weeks of courting, Hazrat Inayat Khan asked Ora Ray to be his bride, but her brother adamantly refused his permission.
And what is so ironic, I suppose, is how Perry Baker was enamored of the esoteric traditions of the East, but when it came to a family member, a woman in his family, marrying a dark-skinned man, that was out of the question.
Despondent, Hazrat left America, but Ora Ray soon followed him to London, where they were finally married. He set off to continue his teachings in Europe, and in 1914, in St. Petersburg, Russia, their first child was born. They named her Noor Inayat, meaning light among women, and she would become the light of her father's heart.
She was, from the very start, as a young child, she was very generous and self-sacrificing. And she was always concerned more about others than about herself.
When Noor was 8, the family moved to Paris, into a house given to them by a wealthy devotee of her father. It was called Fazl Manzil, the House of Blessings.
Well, I grew up in this house, and it was very obvious that it was a family home on the one side. Even in the days of Noor's childhood here with her parents, it was a family home, but at the same time, it was a place for her father to receive his followers, to give talks, to give classes, to hold meetings.
One of Hazrat's students from the Netherlands painted a series of watercolors depicting life at Noor's home. Surrounded by her father's students from all over Europe, Noor felt deeply part of the larger whole, regardless of skin color, religion, or nationality. And her father's teachings were at the center of it all.
He was a figure of mythical proportions for all who knew him. And the children were fascinated by him. He was both their father, but he was at the same time this larger-than-life figure who was, in a sense, the father of everyone.
In the despairing years between the two world wars, many Europeans found themselves searching for meaning and a new direction in their faith. They were attracted to the House of Blessings in Paris, and especially the message of Hazrat Inayat Khan.
La ilaha illallah, which is often translated as, there is no God but God, but which means really, there is nothing at all except the divine reality, which is to say that everything that exists is interconnected, interrelated, and that everything comes from and returns to a singular being, the one original divine life.
The people who came for these talks were probably upper class, educated people in any case. And many of them came from Holland or Germany, Switzerland, quite a few French intellectuals as well. But it was an international crowd.
And his tradition came from a Quranic position of recognizing that all of the prophets of all of the world faiths are exemplars of one planetary message, and that message is the message of the divine unity, but a message which is conveyed in many forms. Primarily it was a path of service, service to the poor, service to those in need, and a call to remember God.
Even as a child, Noor was drawn to this path of service, one she would follow as she grew up.
I think it really marked them for life, that the morals that he conveyed were not just something you learned in Sunday school, but a way of being, a way of living that I could still see in my uncles and my mother throughout their lives. They were very fundamental principles that they really tried to live by and adhere to.
This clip is from our film Enemy of the Reich. To watch the full film, check the description for details, and please support our work by subscribing.